Okay, so welcome everybody to this week's call with Dr. Ahrens Brand, and we've got a very special guest this week, which is Dr. Chi, and everybody should know him by now. He's a very dynamic individual. I'm inspired by him daily because I'm watching what he's doing, and he just inspires people globally. And we've invited Dr. Chi on to talk today about diabetes because not only is it something personal for him, but he does have a wealth of knowledge in this area. And, you know, with the leadership that he has as being a blue diamond for Valentis, the other thing that really interests me with Dr. Chi is that he is a foot and ankle surgeon as well. So as we progress forward with this, you know, we'll be touching base in those areas too. So Dr. Chi, I'd like to welcome you and thank you so much for doing this call for us today. Dr. Ahrens couldn't be with us today. I apologize. He's got other things that he needed to attend to, and he did put his apologies in. But we've got somebody that is just an expert in this area too. So I'd like to hand it over to you, Dr. Chi, and if we can talk about all the different types of diabetes and what we're looking at and how different products can actually possibly assist in that area.
Well, thank you, Jackie, for having me on. Welcome, everybody. It's great to be here and talk about what's going on. So, you know, I have a personal interest in diabetes because I am diabetic myself, and that alone right there should definitely be a major interest for myself and anyone else. But just realize this: I'm not going to go into details on you know all the science and physiology behind it. I want you to understand simply, you know, whether you're type 1, type 2 or not. It's just all it is your body has a lot of glucose, a lot of sugar within our bloodstream, and somehow our pancreas cannot create enough insulin to really manage that, and that's why our numbers are high, and so that's why we get managed with the medications. And you know, I got interested in diabetes when I was in college, when I researched that, and then that's where you know, foot and ankle surgery became an interest, because at that point in time there was a big project going on throughout the world, like limb salvage, and you know, we have to deal with the end stage of diabetic foot infections, and trust me, you don't want to be a part of that. You don't want any part of it whatsoever. I'm talking about from your own, from yourself, from your family members, because it's drastic. It is so bad. It is so severe. And just understand that, you know, I think things happen for a reason, you know, and just happens that we have incredible products that we have here at Valentis. And I'll tell you, I mean, I cannot express enough how important what we have is going to do for everyone. Obviously, you know, here in the States, we can't make medical claims. We can't make medical suggestions or any of that sort. But I can tell you this: we have the right products to help manage, regulate the sugar that people have. And so, you know, when you're talking about, you know, when, you know, it doesn't, just think about this: diabetes, it is the fastest growing disease in the world. I mean, Jackie can regurgitate numbers to you later in terms of what is it worldwide or even in Australia, but I think she knows the numbers. But I'll tell you, it is drastically growing out of control. And even the healthcare industry worldwide still has not had a full grasp on it yet. I really wish it would, because it is killing many people throughout the entire world. And because, you know, diabetes is it is the bottom line to everything. And you add that to obesity and diabetes, just understand this: it increases the risk of everything else. So if you're obese, it's going to increase your risk of having serious effects on your heart, on your lungs, on your liver, on your kidney, every organ in your body, because diabetes will exacerbate the symptoms and make it worse for each and every one of us. So you're at a higher risk to getting all types of different problems, especially right now, what's going on in terms of the pandemic. We're at risk being diabetic. That's a huge risk. But I feel very confident in what we have here with our products. I feel so confident that I go out beyond the norm, and I take, you know, at least 8 Emulin every day. I'm on Emulin C. I don't deviate from that. I feel good with that, and I'm confident, and I trust what Dr. Aaron talked about. If I didn't trust, I would not be taking 8 a day for the last 18 months since Emulin was become part of our company. I would not do it, right? 8 a day, right? Think about that. So it's all about trust and belief. And I totally believe in it. I've seen a lot of you take it. I've seen my own results. I've seen people who I give it to very cautiously, and post-surgically, some of these individuals, they go, wow, I can't believe my swelling is so much better. And, you know, again, I see some of these things. I see post-operatively, you know, what we do surgically, and it takes a long time for example, you know, for recovery. And I'll tell you, Emulin does a wonderful thing. But imagine what it can do for each and every one of us, or for the people that we know who have diabetes, right? And a lot of question comes up, and even with type 1 diabetes, type 1 means you're a child, your pancreas totally does not work whatsoever. And so, and therefore you are literally diabetic, you can't control, you have no pancreas, it doesn't work. And so that's the overall general term about that. And you have to understand that with that, obviously you can't go in and go, okay, we're going to cure type 1 diabetes because of Emulin. It's not going to happen. Okay. It's not. Our body needs insulin, natural insulin produced by the body. And you cannot replace that with Emulin. Okay. Or at least we cannot make the claim. But think about this. Imagine, I'm going to give you a scenario so you understand. And Jackie will talk about it as well, or mention if she agree with me or not. But think about, imagine if you're on insulin. Imagine if you were on 10 units 2 times a day, for example. Let's say that, okay, 10 units of insulin twice a day. And you're on that number, 10 units, and let's say you're on an insulin pump, okay? Insulin pump, it actually is the best way to control your sugar. I'm telling you right now, it is the best way, because it's the computer. It will monitor your sugar. And let's say whatever the number is, it's going to pump you 10 units of insulin. Now, what if, here's my question to you. What if with Emulin, that our sugar gets a little bit better in control, and that pump decides to, instead of pump 10 units, is going to pump maybe 8, right? Twice a day, or 7. Don't you feel that that's better because you have less of an quote unquote artificial insulin into your body, right? It is, right? That makes sense? Does that make sense how that thought is? Imagine that's so much better because your sugar is controlled. Because I talked to my friend the other day. You know, he's 36 years old. I asked him recently, how is your sugar? He says it's 340s in the mornings. I go, what are you taking? He goes, he's taking 2,000 metformin twice a day. 2,000. I go, with 2,000 BID twice a day, your sugar is still 340? I go, you really gotta get a hold on this. What are you drinking? I question him as though I'm his doctor. Okay, he's my friend. I don't want anything to happen to him. Because I told him of the possible complications. Here are the possible complications: blindness, kidney failure, increased infection, increase of all types of different diseases, increase your chance of heart attack, stroke, everything, because you're diabetic. And so, I've been asking him, he's been eating better. He's taking less sodas, but his sugar is still 270, 260. And I said, look, I want you to be on this Emulin 3. And I told him straight, you order 3, I will send you 3. Because I want you on 4 twice a day. And I want to see how your sugar does with the 6 bottles. And he did. Okay, I gave him the value in terms of what we have. I gave him the value of the Emulin. Do not even think about the expenses. When people ask you about, oh, it costs too much. Oh, it costs too much. If I buy 1, it's $59. Don't even go, well, you can buy 3, it's less money. It is less money, but that's not the point. The point is, I would love for each and every one of you to understand what Emulin does. So you have a knowledge. So you look like a person who's knowledgeable to that person you're talking to about Emulin. Because if they don't believe you, if they don't believe you, why would they order that from you if they don't believe you, right? So even I had to give my friend the value of what Emulin does. Even though I'm a physician, but I still got to give him the value so he believes me or not, right? And you got it. That's why it's so crucial for us to learn and learn about the products. I mean, and take into account that we have a product that got Dr. Ahrens 2 nominations for the Nobel Prize. What does that mean to me or to you? What does that mean to each of us? It should mean we should take that as being the precedent in terms of the top products we have, documented products. You have to realize there's a committee that does the nominations, right, for the Nobel Prize. How can someone get 2 nominations for that product? That tells me, as a person, understand the Nobel Prize, Peace Prize, that is a huge, huge, significant importance in terms of what we have. Now, when you pitch that, you say exactly what I just said now about Emulin, and it got Dr. Ahrens 2 nominations. That is important. And think about, you know, what he talked about with all the inflammatory, you know, management of inflammation, management of sugar and carbohydrate. Those are significant, because like you heard them before, everything is going to be broken down to sugar. And so whether or not we're diabetic, we still got to take care of ourselves. We got to take care of our inflammation, take care of our carbohydrate, our diet. You got to have a better lifestyle. You got to exercise too. It will not do its justice by itself. It can't. It's not a miracle, right? It's not a miracle. I tell people even then, because when somebody don't believe and don't see results right away. I had another lady say, well, I haven't seen results at all in a month, 1 bottle. I go, well, you got to give it a try. Here's an example I gave that lady. I go, think about this. You're diabetic. You went to your doctor. He gave you, let's say, 500 milligrams of metformin twice a day. He put you on that regimen for 3 months. He's going to have you back for the 3-month follow-up. Why is he having you back for 3-month follow-up? I asked that person. I go, here's why. Because your doctor will do another lab work on you, check on your A1C and your sugar level based on what he gave you. 500 milligram metformin twice a day. And then he compares your previous A1C to the current A1C 3 months later, and he will make the adjustment according to the labs. And my point here, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta give it time. If you see your doctor treat you for high blood pressure, for cholesterol, they do the same thing. They said, take this amount, we'll see you back in 3 months. Here's the lab work, go do it, and we will assess you and we'll make the adjustment. Same thing with Emulin. You gotta give it some time. It's not a product that can give you immediate result. It's not like the coffee. It's not like the E3. It's not like anything else. It's a long-term result product, just like, for example, the Prevail More Detox and so on and so forth, you know, long-term product. So you have to really understand that. So my point here to you is just understand that you have to know the value and know what it does for us. And once you do, you're not going to have any problem getting people to understand and to make the order for them, because it is about their health. We already are believers. We're taking it. But how about them? So that's our project. That's our mission for each and every one of us, is to go out there, understand all that, so you can give value and have confidence in yourself to give it, that product, enough confidence that people will believe you and will reorder. So Jackie, anything you want to add to that?
Dr. Chi, thank you. I'll just clarify one little thing there so that people understand. Dr. Joseph Ahrens is a dual-nominated Nobel Prize scientist, but his first nomination was for the work that he did with Ebola, and it was life-changing for that country. And then the second one was with the work with Emulin. But, you know, please go out there and share that you do have a dual-nominated Nobel Prize scientist that's the formulator behind, you know, 2 of the products that we have to date. But what I did want to add to that, Dr. Chi, was just to let people know when you're looking at diabetes, we've got three main types of diabetes. So gestational diabetes is one. So whilst you are pregnant and you're carrying a child, and I will say that when you do start anybody off on this product that is a diabetic, whether they are gestational, type 1, type 2, make sure you go to your doctor. Ask them to work with their doctor, because gestational diabetes, obviously carrying a child, can make a huge impact in that fetus's progression as it grows into full term and is delivered. You've got a healthier child. And I will say this, I've just got a new granddaughter of 6 weeks, and my daughter-in-law was gestational diabetic. And, she's as healthy as anything. It really helped her a lot through her pregnancy, and she's a theatre nurse as well. So she knew what she was doing. So it was really great to see, what the outcome of that was going to be. So it's safe because it's a plant-based product. Going into type 2 diabetics. So, and the big worry here is, and this is where when we're looking at our most important thing that we have and our biggest asset for us are our children. That's our future. And there are more and more people that have got children that are being diagnosed with diabetes. Why? Because it's what we're eating. We're time poor. We've got fast food. Like, we've got all of these refined carbohydrates. The sugar is just loaded through the products, and they simply do not have the flavonoids and the goodness in the food that we had 20, 30 years ago. So Emulin is imperative to be able to support their systems and their immune system. Then we go into type 1, like Dr. Chi and others that are insulin dependent. And I will say this to you, and I noticed over the years that I've been working with this and friends that are type 1, this is where they need to work with their doctor, and you also need to get somebody to assist them, because their sugar levels, start them off slow on Emulin, because it's going to spike their sugar levels. Their sugar levels are going to go up higher, and it will scare them if they haven't been informed and told this before they start, because if they're not aware that their sugar levels are going to, all of a sudden when they check them, sometimes they've doubled. I've even seen them go higher than that again. And one particular friend of mine, it took her 5 weeks for it to level out. But what she did notice straight away were all of these things that occurred for her that felt better. The brain fog disappeared. The bloatedness through her tummy disappeared. The craving for food stopped. And gradually she was able to change how she did things, and her insulin, she was up to 5 shots a day for her. Like, it was a lot. She was chronic. But that changed for her. I'm not going to tell any more of her story because it's not mine to tell, because we're not making medical claims here. So I want to make sure of that. And this is where I'd like you to understand this with Dr. Chi, with what he has said. And with Dr. Ahrens, when he talks about it, we're not making these medical claims, but you do need to give the product the time to unravel right down at a cellular level, because generally by the time you start to feel something that's changing how you live each day, and you're finding yourself at the doctor's or at the hospital, it's taken not 1 week, not 3 months. It's usually taken 1 year, 2 years, maybe even 10 years to get to that stage. So this product is going to work from the inside out, and it will help you. It will assist and support the body, not heal, cure, or fix, but it will assist and support the body, but you need to give it the time. So when you're sharing it with people, try and get them to understand it's a 3-month minimum start off. Otherwise, like, they're really not giving themselves any, fighting chance to allow their body to be able to change. So we have started off Dr. Joseph Ahrens' brand in Facebook page. So we're slowly loading up a lot of testimonials that we've had over the years in PDF files. We're going to put other information into there as well. So you'll be able to go there. You don't have to be a doctor, but there's going to be a lot of information in there that's going to be safe for you to be able to share. So, but Emulin is really an amazing product in regards to where diabetes is concerned, and it does have a published paper in regards to the clinical studies that were done on diabetes, specifically with Emulin. And I remember Dr. Ahrens went to a symposium, and he had the guy that actually developed metformin. And, he invited him along for a very good reason, because he'd spoken to him before about this, and the creator of metformin was quite happy to come along and join, and because what they realized is that Emulin outperforms metformin. But what we have there is to try and convince people they've got a scripted medication as opposed to a therapeutic product. And, you know, you don't have to convince them. You can just give them the documentation and let them make their own mind up, take it to the doctor, but we know it works. So that's where I would like to say, have you got anything additional you'd like to add, Dr. Chi?
No, I don't. Actually, I'm type 2 diabetic, not type 1. So
Sorry.
it's okay. It's okay. So just understand that it took a while for mine to be, like you said, actually it's true. It took a while for mine to be lowered from what we take in addition to what I was taking along with Emulin. So it took more than 3 months, exactly what you said. So, you know, just be, you know, cognizant of that and don't make medical claims and you'll be fine. We have one of the most powerful products. It's incredible. It is incredibly powerful. If you do it right, if you learn it right, be knowledgeable about it and give it so much value, people will not say no to what we have. Jackie, anything else you want to add to that or questions that we can?
Not at all. I don't think nobody's really put anything in there. I think we must have really covered everything in there. And as we said, we are going to bring other people in, but I think where diabetes is concerned, this product really is life-changing. And also, if I can add to it, this is where 24/7 becomes an interesting marriage, as I've mentioned before, because there's 2 active ingredients in 24/7 that are also in Emulin. So if you're looking at, you know, the people that are diabetic, you know, this is another product that you can actually, you know, introduce to them as well. But when you get somebody that's got a condition, I would be introducing one thing at a time to them, so that they need to be able to identify and allow the body to rebalance and be able to find a new balance, because it is going to unearth their system, because they're not going to be happy with having, you know, up to 1/3 of their carbohydrates shifted in a different manner and having their sugars controlled in a different manner. So the body's going to have a knee-jerk response and go, whoa, I'm not happy with this. So this is where if you just introduce one product at a time, especially if you're dealing with somebody with diabetes, that would be my suggestion to you, and then bring in the second product so they can identify then, well, this is what this product is doing for me. Does that make sense, Dr. Chi?
Yes. And people still think that, for example, I'm crazy to taking all the products. Hey, I trust our products. I take like what Jackie said, I do take both because I believe in what it does. So that's just from my own standpoint and my own belief in naturopathic medicine. I totally believe it more than anything else. And I will pitch this over modern, you know, medication, for example. I just need to be careful what I do here in the States, but I'm good here with Valentis and the general public.
So if we can even look at, just to wrap this up, Emulin is the most effective for you if you take it just before you eat. So I know Dr. Ahrens has mentioned that, so we'll just put some little key nuggets in there just as a reminder for you. It's the most effective if you have it half an hour before you eat, because it's going to assist the body to be able to chaperone through up to those 1/3 of carbohydrates and be able to help you control your sugars just a little bit better than what your body's able to at this point in time. And of course, as we get older, things become a little bit more challenging for us as well. So this is where you go, well, I could do this when I was 20. Well, this is where this becomes a really amazing thing to introduce into your product, that it becomes essential. So I really want to thank everybody, because we do want to try and keep this to the 30 minutes and make sure that we are. Has anybody got any questions that they want to ask? Because please reach out. You've got the time. We've got 5 minutes to be able to. I've got somebody who's asked, they are diabetic and they take Emulin C, and can they take 24/7? Yes, you can. The 24/7, I will say, from my experience, from what I've seen from other people, and even when I started it, so I'm going to talk from my own experience, and then we can stay within the boundaries of ensuring that we're compliant. When I started 24/7, I noticed that I had to actually drop it back to 1 and just start off with the 1 of the AM. Because of the coffee ingredient in there, it just gave me too much of a buzz for me with what my conditions are. So I just dropped it back to 1 because I felt a little bit jittery with it. But after 2-3 days, I put the second one in. And then by about 2 weeks' time now, I just take the 2 in the morning together. So I don't have any problems with it whatsoever now, as opposed to when I first started. But I use it all the time. I increase it when I go away as well because of those active ingredients in there that are able to support my system on top of the Emulin that I take. Because like Dr. Chi, I take 8 a day. And if I travel and I'm heading overseas, I take 12 to 14 a day. And a lot of people will ask you, that's really expensive. But, you know, good health may cost you money, but it costs a lot more to be sick. And I spoke to somebody about this yesterday. And just to give you the power of this, and we will be bringing in testimonials into this too on these calls too. So it's just specifically testimonials. 4 years ago, I went from being in a hospital or at home, either or either. I was on 14 scripted medications a day, ketamine infusions. My body was a mess. I was dealing with 5 chronic conditions, and they were chronic. And with the assistance and the support of Emulin, I've been able to come off of all of those medications because I wanted to. I worked with my doctor as well. But this is where they make such a really big impact in your life. But it's taken, you know, 2 years to be able to get to that stage now. And I now adjust and change my doses of Emulin. And if you're buying them in bulk, it becomes a lot more economical for you. But it used to cost me in Australian dollars, it used to cost me $2,000, $2,200 a month for my scripted medications. So if I'm only paying $300 a month now, I'm happy. And my body's a lot happier. And I've been in the fitness industry all of my life, in the ambulance service as well, pathology, that's my background, a beautician. But, you know, having your life sort of taken away from you and you have no control over where your health's at and be able to have it given back to you, all because you've introduced one product and then I've brought the second one in. My system's a lot healthier. I'm healthier than I've ever been at 55. I just turned 55 a couple of weeks ago. And I can't thank Dr. Ahrens enough at all. It's just life-changing. So that's all I've got to say. If anyone's got any questions, because I do not want to answer medical questions on this call. I'm not a doctor. I'm not Dr. Ahrens. So if you can send through any medical questions to info@drjosephahrens.com. We can get back and answer them that way and make sure that you're given the correct information that's required. Get onto his Facebook page, like it's a closed Facebook group. There's loads of information. And I'm about to also launch his, well, it's just gone live yesterday, his web page. So we'll be putting blogs into there as well with some additional information also. So you'll be able to get what you need so you can stay compliant. So anything further, Dr. Chi, before we finish up?
No, appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, I just want a big shout out to Dr. Chi, everybody, and thank you so much, my friend.
Thank you.
Dr. Ahrens is so grateful, as I am, that you were able to come on and share your knowledge. We really appreciate it, and I do want to say thank you so much for the inspiration every single day that this man puts into providing the benefits of the health and wellness of being involved with the Valentis and what these products are able to give to you. So I thank you. Kudos, my friend.
Thank you to you too. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, everybody. You have a great day. Have a great evening. And make sure you please join us next week for Eileen Durham. And she's going to be sharing information on autism with her son, Trina. And Eileen's also a specialist nurse as well. So she comes with a lot of credibility. So I think you're going to really enjoy next week's call also. So I hope to see you there. Have a great week, everybody.
See you next
Bye.
week. Bye-bye.